For the life of me, I have no idea what Marvel Comics are doing. At New York Comic Con, they announced a project that everyone should be excited about, but they've been sitting on for over 20 years. A follow-up continuation to an event that nobody's paying attention to, and another character mashup, this time featuring a non-Marvel character mashing up with Null. I would like to believe this is just throwing stuff at the wall, but I feel like they've just put their hands in the air and said, we don't know what to do anymore.
I feel like that's definitely the case.
At New York Comic Con 2025, it was revealed that an unreleased Spider-Man comic series titled The Astonishing Spider-Man has been sitting in Marvel's backlog for over 20 years. The comic is written by Jeff Loeb and drawn by J. Scott Campbell. Campbell stated that the project began around the time of Amazing Spider-Man 601. Marvel EIC CB Cebulski confirmed that the comic was handed over to him when he took the role. Campbell also confirmed that 2 full issues of the series have been completed, but the comic remains unreleased as the team is waiting for the right time.
I feel like this is an entire announcement just to get me to shut the fuck up. I have talked about the J. Scott Campbell, Jeff Loeb Spider-Man series that was announced well over 15 years ago a number of times just to show they're never going to follow through with it. When the fuck is the time going to be right, if not right now?
They're desperate enough that they're having to do crossover books with Marvel and DC. They're doing like 5 different Godzilla projects, one of which we'll get to here in a moment. They're shutting down their entire Ultimate Universe just so they can reboot it because they have to get back to number ones. Half of their comic books that are ongoing don't make it past 10 issues. If now isn't the right time, when is the right time for you to go out there and say, hey, we got J. Scott Campbell, who doesn't really do interiors anymore, and we've actually got 2 issues of a Spider-Man book that people would actually want to look at, which is more than they can say about 99% of everything they release nowadays.
This is 100% the time to release this book. If you want something that's going to sell, holy shit, J. Scott Campbell on Spider-Man interiors. To this day, his Spider-Man covers still sell. To see him do interiors again for the first time since, what, he did that?
He did some interiors in Spawn 300. That's the last time I remember.
I think the last time he drew an entire issue might have been Wildsiders 20 some years ago. You're literally doing an entire program right now of J. Scott Campbell collectible covers. Instead of him doing them through his store, you're publishing them in order to get people to buy your shitty fucking comics. And
I'm assuming they're paying him a large sum of money for the ability to do that.
Exactly. Why don't you redirect that towards interiors? You already paid him apparently for 2 issues. Pay him whatever it's going to cost, get your other 2 issues done, and then release all 4 in 4 months. You will get hundreds of thousands of orders for every single issue, if not 1 million orders per issue.
And unfortunately, that's like the most exciting news. There's a book out there that you want to buy, but we're not going to release it. And it kind of just all went downhill from there. Marvel also announced a new series titled Dungeons of Doom during their Next Big Thing panel. The series follows the aftermath of the 2025 event One World Under Doom, specifically the defeat of Dr. Doom. The premise is centered on superpowers racing to claim Doom's secrets and technology hidden within his former castle. An unexpected explosion sends the looters into a newly discovered labyrinth. The creative team for the series includes writer Philip Kennedy Johnson and Ben Percy, and artists Carlos Magno, Robert Gill, Justin Mason, and George Genti.
Is that fucking event even still happening? Is it over?
Yes. Issue 8 came out this week, and then there's another issue, I guess, to complete the event next month.
Was this entire panel a reminder of Marvel's failures? Hey, we're going to do a follow-up to the event that nobody gave a shit about that's still coming out and everybody forgot about already.
Well, including Marvel Comics, they're already moving on to Age of Revelation. They're already moving on to the next big, X-Men relaunch. It feels like they forgot about it, and then they're like, oh, shit. We paid for this Dungeons of Doom thing that was supposed to come out afterwards. I guess we should promote it.
They're saying that there's going to be some sort of, I don't know, fallout from it, but it's Avengers Arena all over again, except for with older heroes instead of teenagers.
If an event isn't read, did it ever actually happen? Do you need fallout from something that actually nobody paid attention to after the second issue?
No, it doesn't, because you didn't do any build up for it. It comes out of left field. Nobody gives a shit. Written by a writer that nobody gives a shit about. An event where Doom takes over the world should have been the biggest thing. It should have honestly probably outsold a Marvel versus DC crossover. And you managed to fuck that up. How much more incompetent can you get as a publisher to make people not care that Doom took over the world?
You're just not really imagining how bad things can get. Marvel also announced a new 5-issue series titled Godzilla Infinity Roar. This series is a cosmic continuation of the destruction scene in Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe, which concludes in November. The creative team consists of Jerry Duggan and artists Javier Garrón and Iguara. The plot involves Godzilla being banished into space, where he encounters the Marvel villain Null, the King in Black. This encounter leads to a transformation of Godzilla and sparks a galactic war that affects major cosmic factions, including the Wakandan Space Empire, the Shi'ar, Kree, and Skrulls. So we're going to take Godzilla, shoot him into space like he's Hulk. He's then going to infinity warp with Null and become the King in Black himself, and then fight all the elements that are participating in the Imperial event that Jonathan Hickman already quit.
This seems so absurdly random. This would have made an issue of What the in the 1990s, which was their comedy magazine about stupid ideas where you just mash a bunch of shit together. That was the one where Wolverine had fucking cutlery. It was literally a knife, a fork, and a spoon. That is the level of stupid that this belongs in. As I always say, the rule of cool will always win. There's nothing fucking cool about this. You've literally already done the Venom Godzilla. Null is just a different Venom. I understand that doing random stuff can sometimes be fun, but this just seems try hard. And it seems like something else that can't possibly ever actually mean anything.
And you're like, oh, great, there's a cover with Godzilla as the King in Black. But we already know Hela's coming to take and become the Queen in Black. They just brought Null back for Venom 250. Why are we trying to ruin this character so fast?
Because they can't help themselves. Look, Null is not the greatest villain. He's a moderately interesting expansion on the mythos. And I think expanding the symbiote mythos is a mistake. It's like really delving too much into Wolverine's history. You can hint at it, but if you ever actually tell us what it is, it loses all of its cool factor. His appearance, at least his early ones in Venom under Donny Cates, didn't hurt that bad. But now that you're trying to dig deeper and deeper and deeper and make him more core, more central, all he is some video game skin to slap on Godzilla for a dumb event. It's all the Marvel creativity is just take two things that are kind of cool or somewhat cool on their own, mash them together in this really try-hard way, and then everybody just kind of groans and ignores it.
So those are the last remnants, I guess, of what Marvel announced at New York Comic-Con, and I would say that they did not have a New York Comic-Con to remember, Doc.
No, I would say that is most certainly an apt description. If anything, they probably would have done better to just stay home.
So that's the news. If you would like the fully unedited conversation about all this great Marvel news, as well as our review of what I consider to be the worst X-Men comic book I've ever read, you need to go check it out right now on Doc Unfiltered, on Thinking Critical, Patreon, and channel memberships. Hope to see you there very, very soon.